And still, the only destination we're working towards, is total extinction. Let us know what we should be working towards. If you have good enough proof for your statements, your questions, your suggestions, request the discussion if you're able to. Whatever you're the most capable of in favor of preventing the greater bad. We're going to gather the necessary rational intelligence. We're going to grow enough resources so that we can cause the total extinction of every life, so that we can prevent everybody from the extremely bad conditions, from extremely dangerous environments that are imposing life and suffering. Suffering is the inevitable part of life. As long as living beings exist, the only problem to solve is everybody's bad experience. So, if you can debate me, you can request voice chat, you can let me know your questions in the chat, your thoughts, and we can discuss this publicly for progressing, developing the only solution. That is going to be total extinction. And forceful total extinction of all life is not something extreme, it's not something crazy, it's not something radical, it's just basic decency. It's the least we can do for the life victims, for the sufferers. So it's the only decent thing, it's the only effective thing, so it's the only right thing to do, as it ends all suffering. If you're able to prove how we could prevent or end all suffering without causing total extinction, be my guest. So, our more advanced, more researched, and more written down resources, our manifesto, our FAQs, can be found on the proextinction.com site or on the linktr.ee/proextinction website. And more, of course, social media platforms, more forms of contact can be found, and we can settle a bigger debate. We can set it on the most vast and thorough reach possible, and of course results of. We're back to the live streaming. I see your comments a little bit now. It seems that I've been offline all this time. So I'll get back to the point of this live stream. Total extinction of every life is the only scientifically good outcome. It's the only outcome that can realistically prevent the greater bad. Evil. That's everybody's bad experience. Suffering, allowing suffering, letting suffering to continue is the worst there can be. Being against progressing the pro-extinction movement or being passive in it is being in favor of this pro-life, pro-suffering system. So, if you can debate that, if you can provide good enough proof about what we could be achieving instead of total extinction to end all suffering, really, you should be my guest, request the discussion, and inform us. We're going to develop society progress enough so that total extinction can be achieved, as it's the only realistic and effective way for preventing the greater bad. If you know anyone who is able to join this debate, join the discussion, or question how we can develop this progress better, you can invite them to be our guest at proextinction.com. So, if you're new here, you can let me know your questions in the chat, or you can request this request discussion button, and we can progress towards abolishing suffering realistically. There is nothing else that could be progressive, that could be helpful. So, let me know what are your thoughts. I'm here all for answering your progressive stances and debunking anything you have irrational that you're trying to bring up. Only bringing attention to the solution, that is ending everybody's suffering at any cost by any means necessary through total extinction matters. There is no other means for the end of suffering, unless you can prove me wrong with good enough proof and request the voice discussion, or preferably, if you can, type it in the chat. We can even settle this on a long-term debate. Yeah, I'm going to invite you if you're capable of answering how to handle suffering by any means necessary, how to prevent everybody from extremely dangerous conditions. If you're against total extinction, develop the proof, show it, showcase it. And if you're pro extinction, you must join us at proextinction.com, abolish suffering Discord, and more of our social media accounts. Observe them and learn with us, help us progress. If you're a collaborative intelligence, otherwise, what are you going to spend your life, spend your skills on? What could you ever achieve if that wouldn't be total extinction of every life? Not one person could ever achieve the outcome of zero suffering, total extinction. It cannot be achieved by an individual. We have to collectively develop the necessary science. We have to do peer-reviewed scientific methods for it to be available, for it to be effective, because we cannot take rush decisions, we cannot make ineffective outcomes. Only the results, only the consequence of putting everyone into permanent sleep could ensure safety. Therefore, we must fight for safety by any means necessary at any cost, and we're growing it, we're doing it realistically, we're going to put everyone into extinction forever. Yeah, I have some guest requests. We'll see. Someone with an emoji. Hello? What's up?
Hi, so you want to like extinct all people?
Is this not either about people or about want? It's just about developing the necessary intelligence and enough resources that are going to put everyone into permanent safety, so humanity must continue as long as possible to ensure 100% safety, so total extinction of every life being achievable by artificial means. And it can be anything. We cannot state at this state of research, at this current scientific knowledge, that this correct method is going to be implemented in this place and for this much, uh, for uh, for this rate of expense. Uh, so we're growing the enough effective support, the community that is going to be developing the necessary resources that are going to be in favor of the most effective suffering abolition. There are many scientific theories for that, but we
You're
must
talking
be
too much and
oriented
I
on
don't
the
get your
ethical,
point.
rational extinction by any means necessary. Hello?
I don't get your point. You're just talking.
Why did you come up to discussion?
I discussed this with you like on your other live, and honestly, you're dumb. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Some people don't want to die.
You
No,
what? What did you say?
why do you
What?
want to extinct all people?
We do not want that. You're just romaning us. You're misrepresenting what I was saying. That's why I am presenting our social justice movement's goal. We are developing this to help everybody. We're developing intelligent progress so that we can intervene in the future with the most effective euthanasia or sterilization of the cosmos possible, because only the outcome of total extinction is worth it. Life is not worth allowing extremely dangerous conditions, torture, suffering, and it's going to happen. It's going to be continued. Everybody is forced into this meaningless and cruel, brutal natural cycle of reproducing this state of being forced into extremely dangerous suffering. For what? No. Someone called Chantel is saying in the chat that every human needs to be sterilized. It is not something that could cause the prevention of suffering for all, or at all, because the majority of sufferers are wildlife suffering animals, and other victims could emerge in the cosmos from biological life components that are capable into evolving into bad experience. So humanity must be prolonged and developed as long as possible, as effectively as possible, until we can achieve this outcome of total extinction. Okay, I read some comments and I haven't seen any meaningful point or a question. So if any of you have intelligent acquaintances, intelligent friends or followers, you can try inviting them here so they might bring some counterpoints. Do you have respect for this live stream or this team? If not, you can go away. Okay. Someone is asking about pro-extinction movement reproducing. Obviously, it's something that's going to be necessary. Our movement is supporting progressive and controlled reproduction methods, of course. Humanity must continue for ensuring the most effective means for preventing life for every victim of existence. We're not going to start with any random place you're suggesting in the chat. We're going to take the most effective methods for spreading euthanasia and extinction at the most fast rate possible, but firstly, for everybody as possible. We're not going to make more victims after total extinction. That's our point. Okay. Yeah. Kale in the chat is asking, why don't we like suffering? So, suffering means the state that must get avoided. So it means being undesirable. We cannot like the bad experience, and it's universal. It's a universal problem for every life capable of it. That's why we're going to prevent every life at any cost from experiencing it ever again, and the method for it can be the most effective putting into permanent sleep. That is making every life gone, every experience gone forever. It's what's going to prevent everybody from suffering. It's the only thing that is going to ensure safety for everyone. It's the peaceful outcome. How can you prevent extremely harmful, dangerous conditions, starvation, predation, disease, crime, without putting everyone into total extinction ever? How could you ever prevent everybody from bad experiences forever? Anybody can request if they have good enough points. Let me know in the chat first, Vince, okay? Emogenile in the chat is asking, how would you implement total extinction without incurring suffering? I don't understand what incurring means. If you mean imposing or causing suffering, life is causing suffering. Therefore, more life equals more suffering. What is your alternative to total extinction to prevent suffering? Everybody is imposing suffering on itself and on everybody by sustaining this system of life being in existence. Intelligence has to get responsible enough to cause total extinction. Otherwise, everybody is bigoted and hopeless and helpless and a victim of this extremely dangerous system of imposing bad experience. It's not worth it. There is no meaningful reason for it to exist. Yeah, I'm reading the comments and no question. All right. Hello, AT.
Hallo.
What's up?
Ich wollte fragen, wie sieht das denn aus?
I don't understand what you're saying. It's not English. I'm going to accept English requests to ask questions or provide a proof for what we should be bringing into attention. Only the pro-extinction movement is gaining the right traction towards abolishing suffering. So, you should support this. You are going to be in favor of allowing everyone to suffer if you're not supporting the pro-extinction social justice movement. Okay. Okay. Yeah, DMV Sniper 79 from the chat is saying, the scary thing is your type are scientists, doctors, and important people in this life. I don't understand what you're referring to. The scary thing that I can think about is the pro-life system continuing to force and harm everybody by continuing itself, and we're part of this system. As long as we're not going to intervene to cause total extinction, we are responsible for allowing and therefore causing everyone to suffer. If you're unintelligent, you're just a helpless wild animal that is not going to get any relief until extinction. So, of course, we need scientists, different fields of activists, and important people that are going to be capable of intervention to develop the necessary euthanasia or sterilization of all the dangerous environments, and of course, first and foremost, making every life at permanent peace. Non-existence is peace. Yes, Aiden, extinction of all life, all capable of bad experience, must get peace or safety or non-existence ensured and caused effectively. It's not about any wish, it's not about any philosophical debate, it's about realistic actions and steps we're taking. We are growing, we must grow and develop the pro-extinction community that is going to be capable of eradicating the source of everybody's bad experience. So the only problem in the world is the pro-life system. Mr. Wolf from the comments is asking, tell everyone on Earth you want to kill them, see how it works out. It's not something ethical. Why are you suggesting something like that? We are not going to tell anyone that we're going to euthanize them. We're going to just take the necessary intervention with the intelligent community, the pro-extinction movement, social justice, progress, and scientific technological methods that are going to ensure everybody be put into permanent sleep and safety. We cannot induce unnecessary suffering before that. We're not going to suggest what you're saying, Mr. Valve. Kale is saying that life is good because that's why you're alive. What? This doesn't make any sense. Yeah, why should life be considered something worth prolonging, and why should it be considered good while that there are children getting sustained into extreme torture, rape, starvation, disease at the cost of your good life? Marcy from the comments said, the goal of all life isn't to avoid suffering. You're completely wrong. Suffering means the experience that must get avoided. When you're not understanding that, that makes you a hopeless and misinformed bigot. Vince, let me know what your argument or question first, please. Hello, suffering sucks. Thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing this live stream for potentially more useful and productive guests or co-hosting activists. Vince came out with some bullshit. You're assuming suffering is the only thing of moral value. Alright, let me hear your point. Hi Vince, what's up?
Hi, how are you?
Decently.
Yeah, okay. So can you tell me why specifically suffering is the only thing of moral value? Because it seems like it's the only thing that matters to you.
Preventing bad things, so extremely torturous or suffering experiences is something we're going to prioritize forever until we all cease to exist by total extinction.
I understand, but what you're doing is you're specifically not making the argument for why people are being robbed of happy experiences. If you end
They
the
are
human race,
because
for
of the
example,
nature of existence itself. That's how
I
life
understand,
works, don't you know?
right? But you're
Everybody
not
gets
explaining
robbed from their will, from their consent, from their pleasures. That's how life works. You're going to suffer, you're going to be imposed some things you're not willing to experience, and that's why we have to fight against the system for everybody.
I understand, but you're not explaining why specific suffering overrides like happy experiences. Because if you end the human race, you rob people of happy experiences, and you're not explaining why that justification overrides it.
Let me explain.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there is no experience that could make, in example, child torture acceptable. Do you have an argument against that? Thank you.
Again.
That was a long thought from you. Let me know if you thought it out in the chat. Maybe we'll let you on later, but for now, we're going to focus on bringing to attention the more progressive stances, the more progressive roles, and when you're the pro-extinction activist in our movement, you're going to need to look into our manifesto, FAQs, and the history of our protests. If you're capable of gaining more traction, you have to experiment rationally, you have to grow the movement because we need more collective intelligence, we need more resources, we need more progress. So you really must look into the proextinction.com website we have developed very concisely and efficiently, and help us improve it in consequences, making it more effective for reaching more intelligence and gaining the necessary resources for being able to put everyone into total extinction, put everyone into safety, so ending all suffering after every life is made extinct. It does not mean what means are going to be taken to achieve this. Everybody's bad experience must get prevented everywhere possible. It does not matter where the victims are, who they are. We just have to focus on solving everybody's suffering. So there are many fields that we need to develop. There are scientific fields of computer science, physics, biology, mathematics, analysis we're making, and of course the direct human resources doing developing public speech and reaching people more effectively, social sciences, psychology, and many other types of effective reach we're going to research and implement so that we can ensure putting everyone into permanent sleep sooner. Extinction is inevitable, but it is not the reason for causing total extinction. The reason for causing total extinction is that it ends all suffering. No matter how long it takes, we're going to work towards making peace possible for everybody. We have to put everyone into permanent forever sleep because it's the only right and effective thing that is going to work for all. Hello, Notice M3.
Hello.
Hi, what's up?
So why do you think this is the only option? And when do we need to why and when would we need to do this?
Yeah, I've done my scientific research. I've done some observation on the nature of life and existence of suffering. And the only conclusion that makes sense is that ending all experiences can prevent it from continuing. So, euthanizing every life and sterilizing all the cosmos that is capable, that as far as we're capable of it, that is what's going to solve suffering.
Okay, but you didn't answer my question. So when would we need to do this, and how would you
As
do
soon
it?
as possible, and firstly, as effectively as possible. That's why
Why
we're
as
growing
soon
the
as
necessary
possible?
intelligence, the necessary human resources, and artificial intelligence progress that is going to ensure it. Yeah.
Okay, and how would you do it? Like a nuke?
Yeah, you can check out our history of progress at proextinction.com site.
Yeah, no,
That's what we've
I'm
done.
sorry. I think you need to seek mental help. I'm sorry. I think you
Thank
actually have
you. I'm going to
issues.
seek mental health, and I also encourage others to seek mental health as much stable humanity can be, as much healthy it can be. The better for the pro-extinction movement. The better for ensuring putting everyone into permanent sleep sooner and more effectively. Thank you, someone else, 869. You're saying you like my point? Yeah, thank you. I know you were responding to someone else. Sorry, Dan. Hello, emo lover. Maybe you're capable of joining this debate or discussion, bring up some points or activism ideas. If you're an activist, let us know how we can help you progress with us, or what are your capabilities in helping us develop what are our projects in help us develop our current projects. You can also look into the roles on the Abolish Suffering Discord. Okay, if anyone has any followers, friends, or people who are capable of joining this live stream to attend brainstorming or bringing some meaningful questions or any potential debate, if it's even possible, yeah, you can recommend. I really do recommend looking into our resources of more activists from the pro-extinction movement. It's called the social media accounts, I think, page on the website, proextinction.com. Someone called Bo Carey in the comments stated that we support the suffering of Palestinians. We are not supporting any suffering. Our movement is the only one that's indiscriminately working to prevent every injustice, everyone's suffering, no matter who they are or where they are. Everybody must get put into permanent sleep or total extinction. Everybody must be made extinct. So it ends everybody's suffering. Ah, yeah. It is not about our want, it is not about the methods that is going to entail. Total extinction is the only destination, the only goal, the only thing that is worth working towards to ensure peaceful outcome for the victims. Everybody is getting victimized. Suffering is the risk that everybody that is capable of it faces. That's why we must be developing the movement to ensure putting everyone into total extinction so that suffering experiences never emerge again. Hello, Rainbow Fart.
Hello?
Hi, what's up, Rainbow?
Yeah, so the prompt given, the total extinction ends all life. Ends all suffering. What do you take suffering to be?
Excuse me for a second.
Yeah, hard, bro. No stress, lad. Hello?
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, yeah,
Can you hear
welcome.
me well?
Yeah.
So, what was your question, please?
Yeah, what do you take suffering to be?
What do I take suffering to be? Suffering is the experience that must get prevented, must get avoided, because it's built that way. We are programmed to avoid suffering, therefore it's something we must fight against.
Wait. That's not answering the question. I'm asking you what suffering is, not whether it should be prevented or not.
Yeah, it's a negative stimuli.
Yeah, tell me more. A lot of things could be negative stimuli. What
Yes,
is
and
suffering
every
is?
one of those is suffering. That's what we mean by that.
What is negative?
Experiencing a bad. So, in example, getting tortured against your will, something that you are not capable of
Okay, what is
accepting.
bad?
In example, children getting allowed to get tortured, raped, and murdered to death. How are you
So,
going to
who
intervene
decides?
for them?
Wait, who decides what's good and bad?
The victim.
The victim? So if I say that, okay, someone eating an ice cream is gonna give me some negative side effects, is that gonna be equal to suffering?
I said, how are you going to intervene for the children getting tortured to death?
No, I'm asking you a completely different question. I'm asking you
You're
who
asking
decides whether
after I
something's good or
asked
bad.
you a question first.
Wait, that's
just
already
deflecting
presuming
from this
that there
debate.
is. No, because I asked you, what's the standard, and you're not giving me a standard. Rather, you're just saying, oh, who's gonna intervene? That's not my question. I'm asking you for the standard. I asked you the standard long
I don't
before
care
that.
about your standards here. Only the standard of minimizing suffering to the acceptable amount matter. Making everyone at safety, so putting everyone into permanent sleep is the zero suffering amount that is tolerable. That is something we can support. The good enough outcome is total extinction. Nothing else. There are no other standards that matter. Marcy asked, programmed by who? Nature. There's no who. It's just a systemic probability, mathematical, you can say, observable universe that we live in, cosmos. It's something without a mind. So, we're fighting against this entire system that allows it, and intelligence that is not participating, that is not going to intervene to put everyone into permanent sleep, is at fault, can be held accountable by the means of recognizing that they're helpless and bigoted. They're not understanding how to solve the suffering, and it doesn't mean that we shouldn't let them get their life lessons. Of course, we're not going to harm everybody because of their biology. Everybody is a faulty machine. Everybody is going to be at risk of extreme dangerous conditions, of extreme suffering, until the good enough intelligence, the pro-extinction community, the social justice movement is going to intervene and make conditions and environment safe forever. There is no other chance that safety could be achieved. Yeah, Marcy, you're asking how to actively protect children from getting tortured? Yes, the total extinction is the only act that could prevent children from getting tortured. Yeah, obviously, torture means against your will or but some people don't understand that. They are saying that suffering or torture is not something worth avoiding. They're just delusional or helpless, not understanding that intervention is possible. And something most urgent. The most urgent problem is everybody's suffering, and we can prevent it by developing the necessary societal and scientific support by the pro-extinction movement. Research our resources at linktr.ee/pro-extinction. If you have any request for about how we can explain our stances, our facts, and our science more, let me know in the chat or in a direct message. We can exchange video messages to video explanations and even debates. If you really have any worthy of attention opposition or stance, which I doubt. Yes, nature is cruel, and survival by all means necessary is the problem. And we have to prolong the survival of intelligence the most healthy possible or the most effective way for the pro-extinction community to ensure that ending this cruel nature is going to be possible. Putting everyone into permanent peace, so non-existence, is going to be possible after we have enough research and done enough activism for the resources to be available and active. I shouldn't be reading these comments so much bullshit. If anyone has any relevant points to debate, to discuss, you can let me know anyhow you can. There are many more activists who are available 24/7 from many time zones on the Abolish Suffering Discord or the Pro-Extinction website. Website listed WhatsApp, I mean. Someone else. You need an hour to debate. Okay, get ready. We'll see. Get locked in, and let's get through it, right? So, with the pro-extinction movement, the universal solution is going to be possible. We're going to gather enough intelligence and enough resources that are going to make intervention possible, that are going to make helping anyone and everyone possible. Someone called Roofrick from the comments stated, "What in the billionaires' propaganda is this? Do you really think that the most privileged and probably influential people would be in favor of helping everyone right now? At this point in our current history, in our current progress and scientific knowledge, we're so far behind. We're so far away from achieving total peace. Of course, we are going to accept and support and welcome some more financial or resourceful or more intelligent support to come into our movement. Yeah, we're going to reach as far as practically possible and most effectively possible to implement the total extinction, because it's still the only effective, right, and thorough thing that can solve suffering." Yeah, someone with an emoji is asking who is suffering? So every being that could be capable of experiencing something bad, something that they want to avoid, that actively and urgently needs to get ended, is suffering. It does not matter who the victims are. We must destroy this physical, biological, and harmful system by any means necessary and put everyone into permanent sleep. We're not in favor of depopulation. The more human intelligence available, the better. Yeah. And we are not wanting extinction. We are going to work towards ensuring the most realistic outcome for all the life victims. So we are going to go at last into the permanent relief. Kale is asking, what are you gonna do when the majority doesn't want extinction? Fight for total extinction. Suffering from dying also can be only ended after the total extinction, so thanks for bringing up another point for our movement to bring up more. Sorry, I'm reading some TikTok settings right now, but I'll look into the comments in a second. Rufric, we do agree. Religious cultists have no good answers. We are supporting the atheistic, the scientifically methodological methods for ensuring peace for everybody. So, on that we can agree. But you Rufric, have shown in the chat that you're incapable of joining this progressive stance of being against helpless cultists. So yeah, very hypocritical indeed. Yeah, suffering is not a good thing, which is why we work towards helping. But you're saying in the chat that some medical solutions or doctors are really ending any suffering? No. Rescuing individuals does not end any suffering, it can only transfer it. But of course, we have to sustain some human intelligence that is going to work towards actually solving and rescuing life from the dangerous, unsafe conditions. So, the real cure we're researching and going to implement for solving the cancer that is life is going to be implemented anytime soon by the pro-extinction movement, so we have to progress it more. We have to just fight for the outcome of ending everybody's suffering by any means necessary. We have to do rational, peaceful and progressive activism for ending everybody's bad life. Some spiritualists in the chat. No, we are just materialist and based on reality, so we're not going to bring you up into serious debate or discussion, so... You're hilarious. MBG Dragon is saying this is such a white people take. Do you think that it matters who the advocate for ending all suffering is? Only preventing the victims matters. No matter who the victims are or where they are, we have to intervene by any means necessary that are going to be the most effective possible. Total extinction is going to ensure safety for everybody. There's nothing else you can bring up to the table, to the progressive debate, to the politics that is going to ensure making peace, that is going to ensure lack of discrimination, lack of injustice, lack of torture in the world. We have to prioritize the hopeless, we have to go extinct at last, and develop the necessary socio-scientific and technological movement that is the pro-extinction movement. We are leading by example. We are growing and developing and helping to learn more capable of making this goal achievable leaders that are going to ensure putting everyone into total extinction as soon as possible by firstly researching the most fast and thorough method possible. So we have to gain more also artificial but human resources and dedicate our whole lives into this destination, into this work we're going to achieve for the better. The lesser evil is extinction of every life, right? Someone called Good Hunter in the comments is saying, no, I'm not going to read this irrelevant shit now. Someone called to clothes and gardening in the chat is saying, I mean, you're already getting your way. Biodiversity and biomass already on the decline. It is not our way. Our way entails any means necessary for total extinction, not any reduction of populations or any victims, because we have to ensure that at last Proextinction intelligence is going to intervene with the total euthanasia and cosmic sterilization. So we have to make dead zones the most vast and thorough possible, and it has to be totally dead. The total extinction, every life must be prevented from continuing to be forced into extremely dangerous, unsafe lives. MBG is saying, so genocide? Genocides are continuing as long as life exists, forcing everyone to be allowed into this dangerous environment and cosmos that it is causing genocides. What is your reason for causing genocides, MBG? Yeah, so leading by example, by my understanding, is that we're going to be developing the necessary intelligence and resources, progressing society until we can cause the total extinction the most effectively possible. We have to be leaders, we have to be the most effective at our skills. We can help you develop your roles, so just check out our proextinction.com resources and get in touch, get in contact with us. Provide a reason for what is smart in this world, if not the pro-extinction movement. So intelligently intervening and ending everyone's suffering could be something unintelligent according to you. That doesn't say anything about the facts that we're stating. Intervention is still only possible by total extinction. You have not provided any alternative. You have not developed any proof for what we should be working on instead, for how our course of abolishing suffering development should actually be turned out. If you're trying to collaborate with us, you can go ahead. We are all open, all public, and available anytime from any time zone, and many activists are going to help us progress to achieve this the most effectively possible by peer-reviewed science. Someone requested a discussion. Hello, Harmony?
Hello, I'm probably not going to be up here for too long, and I'm not going to debate your claim as a whole. I like the whole utilitarian, like, yeah, well, if we just, nuke everyone, then no one's going to suffer. Like, that sounds great in theory.
No, it does not. It is not great. We're not going to take ineffective methods, or we're not going to nuke anyone or everyone, because it won't prevent everyone from continuing to suffer and re-emerge into this cruel natural system. Yeah.
So how do you think you would go about, like, the mass extinction? Like, would it be, like, kind of like a dictator, just being like, okay, for the better good of everyone, I think we all gotta go?
Of course, we're going to take any means necessary. We're starting to go into politics. It's like a 0-point stage of our movement starting to develop.
Okay.
So, of course, we're going to take any political means necessary to achieve this goal of zero suffering for everybody. So we cannot make any false claims or unscientific assumptions here.
100%. That's awesome. Okay. You're really on this cause. That's great that you're, like, really passionate about what you believe in. So do you think, though, that, like, before the mass extinction event, you could give, like, a one-day warning so we can all...
It is not about mass extinction. We're not
wait,
about
sorry,
causing extinction for its sake.
I think I might be confused. When I say mass extinction, I refer to total extinction of all life. That's kind of what I mean. Okay. So, like, when everyone's going, unless I'm misunderstanding you here. But, like, would you do, like, a one-day warning so we could all just, like, do the things on our bucket list and, like, do the things that we always wanted to do before we all go?
No,
Because I
life
think that
does
would be
not give us
nice.
any warning before forcing us to die.
So we
And
should
of course,
just
we're not
okay.
going to get consent from every wild animal, from every mosquito, every animal getting tortured in some sadist's basement. We're just going to make the most effective means for intervention.
Okay, so I'm not gonna ask about your means because of course I don't want to get your channel like taken down. But like,
No,
so
no,
like
I'm
what
going to tell you.
Oh, okay, word, please do.
There are many scientific theories that suggest that ending every life, that making extinction of every life artificially is possible. In example, you can also check out the full 10-minute video explaining this on the pro_extinction YouTube channel. It is linked also on the proextinction.com website. So there is a theory of false vacuum decay, that we could change the state of the matter in this universe, and also there's strange matter that we're researching, and of course artificial intelligence methods that we're researching more into too.
So
Many more.
do you think there you could just eliminate suffering without the extinction, or do you think, or does your cause believe that's kind of the only way to really get like true, like I guess just peace for everyone?
We're not believing in anything. We're just doing science here, researching,
I believe in
experimenting
science.
on the reach and our knowledge. So we're doing these debates right now to research if there is even a possible way to abolish suffering sooner. If you know of someone who could prove me wrong, please be my guest.
No, I don't. Well, I think with your also I'm only saying believing, like of course it's science and you're substantiated. I believe in my science, of course. So you know, yeah. So I mean, it's good that you have all these things that you believe in. You know, you don't want. But are you sure it's not like you don't just want to like, you don't just you sure you don't want to just like press the red button? Like it's not about that. Like it's not about. You sure it's about peace? You know, just because like I don't know. I feel like if I was in the
No, we're
pro-extinction
going
movement,
to
I'd probably
cause,
get a little
even if we're
crazy
going to
about it.
have to cause some suffering to end the greater suffering, our movement is willing to do so. We just care for preventing the greater bad. We don't care for any meaningless stuff, any. What was your reason for. Instead of compassionate total extinction, what do you say would be our motivation?
Well, I guess it would be more on an individual level versus the entire overall ideology. But I guess someone at the top could like secretly just really want to be like a world dominator and kind of be like, no, guys, trust me, it's like peace and stuff. And I'm like, wouldn't that be kind of a shame? But I mean, if the ideology is right, then I guess any means to the end, right? It wouldn't really matter the motivation if it gets the job done.
Of course, the results only matter, the consequences of preventing the greater suffering matter. We do not care who could achieve this or where it's going to start from, we just care for the effectiveness of it. Secondly, for how soon the sufferers are going to get the relief, and thirdly, it might be painless. Opposed
Might
to how natural death
be.
is.
Would you like, would it be preferred for it to be painless? Like, would that be the better option?
That's what I said was a third priority.
Yeah, okay, awesome. Yeah, that's great. So, like, but you sure we all can you explain to me why we couldn't have a warning? Because, like, no one's gonna try to stop you. Can't we just, like, I want to be able to, like, do all the rugs that I never got to do. I want to be able to, like, go reach out to my old family, and, you know, and then you can let me go. You know what I mean?
We're not
Like,
stopping you
what's...
from living your pathetic life. We're just going to research and dedicate our whole activist support for making sure that everyone can be put into permanent sleep. Of course, there's no warning from life when you're forced to suffer, when you're forced to exist and die. And we're going to, of course, care about people like you and wildlife and animals who are forced into extremely dangerous conditions. Thank you for asking your questions. I'm going to accept more debate
Oh,
requests,
okay.
and maybe let us know if you have more potentially useful points or questions. So, I feel like I missed some point. I was talking too fast. Yeah, you can let me know if I should caught up on something from the chat, or maybe you can request a co-host even. That would be something interesting, new, and helpful to try. We are researching the social media algorithms, researching the activist reach, and going towards ensuring total extinction the most effectively, then soon, and then as maybe painlessly as possible. Someone called Josh underscore is saying that we should find God. If you found someone God and it is helpful to cause everyone to go extinct to end suffering, please let us talk with them. Invite them, maybe. If you know someone who's capable of sustaining some productive debate or discussion or questions, you can request the debate and discussion or plan it for more time and planned points if you have them. By direct message or anyhow, let us know. Alright, this live stream has been going for 57 minutes around. I'm thinking, should I go for more or do some other task I have on my hands? Yeah. Anarchist Mom, I can agree with you, because I have more videos to edit, to record, to script, and plan the upcoming protests that are going to happen in Germany. We're going to go into Munich, do table debates with people on the streets. We're going to do a cage protest for wildlife and animals and overall life enslaved to the existence itself, to the problem of enslavement, to the pro-life, the trap, to the pro-life system that is the trap of forcing everyone to extremely bad experiences. We're going to intervene against it, and we're going to grow this movement to achieve this, make this possible. And after the Thursday and Friday, of course, we're going to make more announcements about it, but you can check out the Berlin announcement that we're going to be going to Berlin on Saturday and do another, second cage protest, and one of the first in history in overall social justice movement progress. So we're going to fight against wildlife conservation and overall suffering imposing system conservation that it is. Everybody being forced into life is the problem. And we're going to take more street interviews, debates, and potentially grow this movement more by that. Let us know if you have more effective ideas or questions for making the annihilation of all the sufferers, of all the life victims of this harmful system possible. It is possible to annihilate this harmful system by causing total extinction. We're going to accomplish this by any means necessary and at any cost it takes. We just have to keep on fighting against the problem we have been fighting against since the beginning of experience itself. Some bigots are bonding in the comments, saying that they're vegan, so that they are in favor of allowing wildlife to continue, so transferring suffering to other groups. Very unresponsible and privileged of you, vegans. Ramen Sunrise in the comments said, I think we should focus all scientific effort into eliminating only sufferers. Are you saying that there's some distinction between non-sufferers and life that is actually suffering? The suffering is a risk everybody is at since birth. It's not something that you can differentiate. Are you safe from the danger of getting suffocated, tortured, diseased, terminally ill, raped? How are you going to ensure that it's going to be safe in life or for life? Only after total extinction there can be safety from all the bad experiences. Yeah, we're going to force the false vacuum decay or otherwise other realistic ways or methods for making total extinction possible. We cannot factually stay at this moment from where and which place and at which rate it's going to start to end everyone's bad life. But we're going to work to achieve this. It is not magical. We're based on the scientific progress and methods that are based in reality, based on real scientific evidence and real scientific theories that are suggesting that it is possible. If it is not possible to cause total extinction, you're just going to be forced into this relentless, infinite cycle of reproduction. You're going to force everyone to continue indefinitely. So you're not going to change anything for the better when you're not fighting for total extinction. Forceful total extinction of all life is the only thing that can end all suffering. So it's the thing to do. It is the thing we're working towards. We're going to develop to achieve this. We're going to progress the social justice, intelligence, and resourceful support. That is going to be the end. The press towards ending everyone's bad experience continuation. Rihanna in the comments is stating that Proextinction is peak speciesism. From what stance are you even assuming that? You have never read our manifesto, and you have surely never walked into our proextinction.com website to assume that our whole movement is speciesist. Of course, there can be always some defects or people who could be not really on board with us, but they're just misinformation from what the movement I'm growing is. The pro-extinction movement is going to be causing everyone to be put into permanent sleep, total extinction, ensuring everyone to be forever at peace. Therefore, it's not something that's discriminating against any species or life group or victim. It does not make any sense to discriminate against any sufferer. Yeah, TTD from the comments is saying, let's record this, let's start it with me. Of course, we have started, we are recording and making explanations anytime, the most effectively possible. So, just follow us, or join our progress by yourself. So, research what we mean by the pro-extinction progress, more on our proextinction.com website, the full manifesto, FAQs, or ask me this question directly, what you might have any, if you might have any, doubts or questions, just curiously or just skeptically, that's true or not true, you can ask. We're just about facts and developing the right thing to abolish suffering. Someone is stating in the chat, it assumes humans have the standing to judge non-human lives as not worth living. Everybody's life is not worth living. We're not discriminating against humans either. We're not stating that we should be continuing forever because, I don't know, whatever reason you might come up with, so that this pro-suffering, this life-imposing system could continue to violently and cruelly impose this on everyone. The pro-extinction intelligence is going to intervene by any means necessary and intelligently and resourcefully to end all bad lives. Someone called Fossils and us in the comments states, How are you gonna end all insects and all life from existing? Just curious. That's a good question. Thank you for bringing this up. So, we're going to research on the most effective sterilization of the environment, so making dead zones and making euthanasia possible. There are many scientific theories that suggest making every life extinct is possible by artificial methods. But there is more to it. Firstly, we have to gather enough intelligence, so we're growing the pro-extinction community that is going to have enough resources to actually implement this. And we have to determine and ensure 100% certainty for what the most effective method, from where to start it is going to be implemented from. No new comments. I'm going to wait a minute more. When nothing more comes up, I'm going to end today's live stream and move on to more tasks that we have at hand today at the pro-extinction movement being at a very exponentially rate developing and growing stage. We have a lot of roles we have to implement and up our skills at, lock in, and I have some comments to respond to, so let me focus on this live stream. We're going to, focus on answering your doubts or questions or curiosity on how to progress. Okay, there is nothing relevant to respond to. We're not in favor of leaving anyone to suffer. We're not in favor of favoring any things over ending all sentient beings' suffering. And of course, suffering is always a fail, it's always a loss. So, we're going to fight to win. We're going to fight to actually intervene and be the only hope for all the extreme torture victims in the world, the life victims. Therefore, we're suffering from compassion. We're suffering from being privileged enough to intervene, and it's not the greatest suffering in the world, because we're capable of making this total extinction possible. We're going to have to go extinct at last. Our privilege is being pushed down by the capability to intervene. We must have our relief at last. Thank you for the suggestions. We're going to make more brainstorming for activism ideas and activist protests and interviews and other plans we have on the Abolish Suffering Discord or Pro-Extinction WhatsApp that are available on the linktr.ee/proextinction or proextinction.com website. Last comments to read. Okay. Let's see. Should I continue this live stream even more? No, I'm sure I have more tasks I should be focusing on right now. Yes, we know that suffering from the want to live and getting it inevitably violated by this natural, biological, physical reality we live in is something everybody fears, or most fear. It's not about any want that the pro-extinction activists have for causing total extinction. Of course, everybody needs and wants to avoid suffering, and we're responsibly and selflessly going to cause everyone to be, inexistent, unalived, or at total peace. Safe environment that is non-existence or extinction. And there is no better place. If you can find it, please directly say it to me. I would rather work for the most effective way to end all suffering, always. Logan, if you have any question or point, let me know. Maybe I'll let you come up for a discussion, for a debate. If any one of you have any point for opposing forceful total extinction of every life, for causing everyone to go extinct sooner also, you can let me know how we can handle suffering more effectively. Let me know if there's any more effective ways, but there are no ways for ending any suffering without causing every life to go extinct. So, yeah, you can request to ask me any questions at the moment, and if there's anything else that you can come up with, you can also let our activists know at the Abolish Suffering Discord, join our Proextinction WhatsApp group, or help us develop any way to cause total extinction to force everyone into safety, because only intervention matters. So, thank you everyone for coming up here. We're going to look more into other potentially useful skills to develop for our pro-extinction activists. We're going to develop this movement by any means necessary and at any cost. And it does not matter who is not suffering or what is not suffering. We're always going to prioritize helping the life victims. We're always going to help everyone out of their misery by developing the total extinction. To actually develop the means to achieve this, we have to grow the pro-extinction community that is going to have enough resources to actually implement the solution. That is making everyone at peace, so non-existent. See you next time. Proextinction.com